Thanks very much, Chair. And can I just maybe start by particularly thanking Tanya for the work that she's done with our committee, and to strongly support her call for a dedicated unit within Libe to advance and develop the work that we do in the scrutiny group. I'm not going to maybe repeat the points made by colleagues, but just very briefly, at the last Schengen Scrutiny Group meeting, Commissioner Johansson acknowledged that the state of play is quite problematic, referencing both controls introduced as part of the COVID measures, but also the controls that have been maintained by some member states for many years now, who've used migration and security as a reason. And she, in fairness to her, she acknowledged that there is a huge lack of governance, and they are strong words from the Commissioner, but I suppose it's an awful shame that they haven't been backed up by sufficient action as far as we're concerned. It is true that the Commission has recently threatened legal action against a number of member states because of the controls introduced during the pandemic, but while it's been vocal in its opposition there, it hasn't actually been nearly as vocal on the illegal border controls introduced in 2015 by several member states on the grounds that refugee movements pose some kind of a risk, and they've maintained those borders ever since. So I suppose, having seen what some members are getting away with since 2015, is it any wonder now that this internal border security is now coming more normalised? And we would say, and I think most colleagues in the group would agree, that the system is at the point of breaking down, that many member states are doing whatever they like. And this is a situation, I think, that we're all convinced shouldn't go on. And we have a serious problem here in that the Commission, in my opinion, talks a good game, but is quite happy actually to turn a blind eye to the illegal actions of certain member states. And one of the things that I think we need to address is the seriously problematic narrative that's taken hold, that is that migration is a threat, that terror stalks the streets of every city and town. And this just isn't true. Even Europol itself has said there are no signs of systemic use of irregular migration by terrorist organisations, but every single policy of the European institutions is predicated on the idea of migration being a threat. So therefore, is it any wonder that member states feel at liberty to act as they like? So I think, yes, we do need better sanctions against states like Germany and France and so on, who've been brazenly breaking the law since 2015. But I think we also need to do something about the really false narrative that comes out of these institutions about migration being a threat to Europe. Otherwise, we're just going to be digging ourselves into a bigger hole, and ultimately Schengen itself will be the victim of that, and that is something that we strongly want to fight to maintain. So I'd just like to thank colleagues for their work on it, and particularly thank Tanya, our Chair. Thanks very much, Chair.